My name is Jimmy Dean. I have been being harassed, bullied, and abused for close to 4 years now. This harassment started because I tried to report some individuals who had hacked my computer, phone, my internet connection and all my online accounts. You are not protected 100% because you cannot password protect your Wi-Fi, and this makes it easy for neighbors to connect to your router. Apart from issues such as using your bandwidth and downloading illegal content, which is then tied to your IP address, it can also allow them to spy on you using your computer. This can happen regardless of whether or not you have shared folders on your computers that are visible to everyone on the network. We all value our privacy and want to protect the personal information on your computer. However, it is not just online strangers and hackers that you have to worry about. Since your neighbors know you better than strangers and you often have close contact with them, it places them in a unique position to be able to spy on your computer. Because of software available that allows perverted individuals to crack your passwords and use other methods to access your electronics, it is almost impossible to safeguard your computer from intentional or accidental spying. If this happens, you should report this to your local authorities, but if you are being spied on and the perpetrators believe you are likely to report them to the police, what do you think they are going to do? Well, I can tell you exactly what I believe they will do because this very thing has happened to me. They may very well try to get ahead of being reported by using their ability to control your electronics to do things that will make you look like a criminal or a threat to others in your community. They may very well try to sabotage your entire life or threaten you that they will destroy you socially if you cause them any trouble. Can you imagine being caught doing something like this to someone? Tell me, how desperate do you think the culprit would be to hide or somehow justify their actions? Is it far-fetched to think that they might attempt to turn your other neighbors and even the local police against you to get away with their actions? What if they managed to accomplish this because they learned you suffered from a condition that caused you to act in a manner that seemed strange to others but was actually completely innocent and was in no way illegal? What if this activity was misleading enough to cause people or the local police to act in a way that now caused them to want to or need to hide their participation? What problems and what effects do you expect the victim would be faced with? How do you think the victim might end up dealing with this type of harassment, abuse, bullying and discrimination? My personal opinion ranges from suicide to retaliation. However, as for me, I have some problems that I am now trying to deal with, sure. Who wouldn't? But I am a good person with a big heart and I would never hurt anyone even if they are targeting me because of my disability. I have simply tried to find help by writing letters and filing complaints. I have kept a copy of every letter or request or complaint I have filed or sent begging for help of any kind. I was told by the Surfside police that to do anything about this on my own would result in being arrested. After being held for 14 days against my will in a psychiatric facility for simply trying to report the crimes being committed against me, I took what they said to heart. This is no joke, nor is this some innocent game. This was intentional and it has affected my life to such a degree that I do not believe I nor my family will ever fully recover from the pain and suffering they have caused. In fact, since this happened I have experienced heart failure and at the age of 48 I have had a pacemaker surgically implanted into my chest. My life has been affected by my own mistakes and by living with a mental illness that causes me to be vulnerable to many things such as peer pressure. I say this because I feel I need to be 100% honest if I expect others to understand that I have no reason not to simply tell the truth. However, there is no way that anyone will ever believe that being treated in such a way did not contribute to the health problems I am now facing. I have been asking for help for close to 4 years now. Does anyone out there think that it is appropriate for me to ask that qualified and impartial individuals finally investigate the claims I am making? Believe it or not, this abuse is still taking place today and it will never stop until the authority enforce the laws in place to prevent any of us from this type of cruel and hateful crime. Hate crime. I have done all that a person has a moral obligation to do. In fact, I have went above and beyond what any person is required to do when they have knowledge of a crime that is being committed. I have the ability to help prevent crimes that will be committed against someone in the future. I have made the people who have the resources and the legal obligation to take legal action aware of this fact. It is now my opinion that the next crime that is committed, if someone else is hurt and caused to suffer, it's as much on the local authorities' hands as on the hands of these criminals. I am so damn tired of begging. What about Jimmy? I want to be happy just like the rest of the world. There comes a time in everyone's life when you must look out for number 1, especially when it becomes clear that no one else is going to. I wish I was strong enough to handle this on my own, but I am not, so I would love to hear from anyone who may have any suggestions. I have never before felt so alone, and it has become extremely important to me that I make changes in my life, right now. I am tired of being a victim and waiting on others to help me out. Right now, I am at a point where I have all my bases covered. So maybe, it is about time that I start thinking about what's best for Jimmy Dean. How can I expect to help others if I can't even help myself? Thank you all for reading this and wish me luck as I need it bad. Gary J. Dean II.
RAT is an acronym and it stands for Remote Administration Toolkit. This allows a user to access someone else's computer from a remote location. Ratting is the process of infecting someone else's computer with a tool without their knowledge. A hacker needs to hide the RAT in order to get someone to download it, so they use a cryptor, which is basically a piece of software that renders the RAT undetectable by antivirus software. What they're doing is essentially creating a virus, and it's not all that hard to do. There are a number of remote administration toolkit apps available to simplify the process. A hacker will hide the RAT in a seemingly harmless file. These could be things like game cheats, they could be film downloads, or they could be hidden Facebook profile viewers. Once the person has downloaded the file with the RAT in it, the hacker pretty much has control of their computer. So they can view what the person's typing, they have access to stored passwords and files, and obviously they can see through the webcam and see what the other person's doing. Because it's so easy to do, it's the preserve of amateur hackers really, referred to often as script kiddies. It's for fun, it's to scare people. Obviously they can see people's reactions, they can take photos of the people who they've ratted, and then online on hacker communities they can then share photos of the people they have ratted. They refer to them as slaves, so there's a prestige element really of it, of sharing how many slaves you've collected. The potential to affect businesses is there. If you imagine a CEO's laptop, they usually have webcams embedded within them. So if a hacker were to successfully infect that computer with a RAT, they could access potentially sensitive company data. To protect against ratting, people should turn off their webcams when not in use or cover with tape. Make sure that their antivirus software is up to date and avoid torrent downloading. If you're a business, it's well worth considering penetration testing, which you can get an IT security company to carry out. It basically tests your IT infrastructure for weaknesses through which a hacker could get in.